Yo, it's me, Fluffy Slippers. What's up, Fluffy Slippers?
Welcome back to you, baby dolls. Today we have a special interview with me, and I'm wearing my Pikachu hat, and I am getting interviewed from Mr. Corey Spaghetti Meatballs. He was the very first person to ask me, and this is a very special request. Let's go.
It is quite an honor, Fluffy Slippers. You make more content than any of us in this community. A video every like 4 hours, man. You've been putting out so much content, man. It's absolutely incredible, and it's really, really amazing to see. And I just wanted to start off, man, with what do you think about all this general market structure right now? The ETF approval. What's your perspective on all of this right now? This market news is pretty big, and it may get approved tomorrow. We're hearing. So what's your perspective on this, brother?
Yeah, friends. So if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm very bullish on the crypto industry, but the same stories play out over and over and over again. And it ends up with the little guy getting wrecked. And I think everybody who's seen what happened in 2021, right? You're seeing all the story played out again, but they change the names, they change the faces, but it's the same structure going on over and over again. And I've been able to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. You know what's funny? Even with Corey, you've noticed, man, I promise you, every day I wake up, I go, that's it. I'm not doing a video for like 5 days. I was going to take a break, friends. I was going to take my first break. I wake up, I did the news, literally breaking news. I have to do another video, the corrupt SEC with the Twitter hack. And it's funny, on CNBC, they tried to blame Elon Musk. They said Elon Musk got hacked. And as this is happening, after I'm finally done with that, I'm like, man, I'm wrecked. And then I go look at the screen again, breaking news again. Richard Hardy's going to fight the SEC. I'm like, oh my God, I got to do another video. I can't shed this out for an hour. So just video after video after video cranks. But I assure you, we are going through the cycle. Retail is going to get hurt again, friends. Everyone's saying it's buy the rumor, buy the news. I don't think so, okay? I don't think so. And when it comes to this, just know that these news, they say it's like meant to like taunt you, but not really. If what actually is happening is people want a reason to act. But actually what you should be doing is just watch my show, watch my channel. I'm telling you, like, no, all the pieces are falling together, right? It's like when you watch a movie and you see the bad guy and he like maybe like hurts one of the loved ones from the protagonist. And so the bad guy, when you watch the movie, you know it's a movie, right? You know, okay, the good guy's eventually going to win. But in that moment, you're like, oh, that bad guy. But you never actually watch a movie and think, man, I wish that bad guy never killed that girl so he would go avenge her. So once I started to see these things play out, because they are stories and narratives playing out, and it's very spooky how they keep repeating, right? You could end up seeing the pieces of the puzzle together. So that's where we are right now. We're actually, I think Crypto Crew University, Steve, he calls it like phase 2 of the bull market. That's exactly where we are. We are repeating the 2016 fractal of Bitcoin, which is, it's spooky. You had in 2015 and 14, Mt. Gox Ponzi collapsed. It was 80% of world Bitcoin volume. And then we had FTX collapse. So they're mirroring. You also had a double bottom. So the price is for some reason a double bottom, right? We had a double bottom as well. If you look at it like on a monthly chart. And then even more spooky, the price action out of the bear market is just green candles staircasing to heaven for Bitcoin around the Bitcoin halving. And then like, surprise, surprise. And we actually retrace up to the 61.8% Fibonacci level. It's wild. We're literally exactly here. And this is me. I'm super skeptical, right? And I'm thinking, okay, one day this thing's going to break somewhere, but it is what it is so far. So I mean, like, yeah, everyone's long and strong and we're waiting to see crypto adoption pull through. So there that brings us to where we are today. And like, even as me saying it's going to break one day, right now, you got to do everything that you did before, which is, we're in Bitcoin halvening gear. And the thing to do, not financial advice, is to go, all right, give me every single high growth, small community altcoin outside of Bitcoin that you can get. That's literally, if you go back to the charts, that was the winning strategy. And obviously we all hope we're all choosing the right ones. So there you go.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Like right now, it seems like there is this sense of optimism in the air with finally, I've been hearing about the ETF approval since I got into cryptocurrency in 2017. And it's hard to believe it's almost 8 years later where we're finally hearing that it's possibly going to be approved. And on the topic of, civil regulatory authorities, going on, right now, we've been hearing massive news with yesterday, for example, the SAC addresses. Basically, the SAC addresses were pumping the prices, buying PulseChain, PX, and PulseX. and it broke news, and it was huge. It was huge news, and I'm curious to hear your perspective on that. Like, what was this all part of a big plan? What do you think's going on?
I just made a video. This you can't make up. This is spooky. Okay, so the wallet address, who we don't know controls, wink, wink, maybe Richard Hart, maybe a duck in a pond, they start buying on December 14th. And even the fudder, the fudder, right? So shout out to him for actually doing the research and the on-chain stuff. But he's doing his research to try send us to zero. It's funny, right? So even him, he doesn't get alerted to it. And or if he does, nobody takes notice, right? So I don't think he got alerted on December 14th. When do we start noticing? It's Bitcoin halvening year during Matty Allen's Hex conference. For some reason, now he notices. Like, you can't make this up. And then within 24 hours of him noticing, the corrupt SEC fumbles, and you have Richard Hart saying, I'm going to fight the SEC. Like, this is you can't write this. How do you write this in a movie? You can't. No one would believe you. Now, you might say, okay, maybe Richard planned it or whatever, but how can you plan the SEC getting a fake Bitcoin ETF approval by this date? You can't fake that. How can you fake that guy who's actually a fudder specifically releasing his news and deciding to figure out what's going on? There's something spooky going on in the universe. But, now I've also mentioned this before, friends. This, what I'm about to do, is pure speculation. However, it does stem in reality. So the US Fed and also Ripple with the XRP case, we know this for a fact, but this is not made up. When they want to do a big macro move, so when they want to cut rates and they want to stimulate in emergency, and when they want to hike rates, which what they did was in emergency 2022, when they do the first announcements, they have their own insider players who attack the market very aggressively the first time. It sends a big signal. And you might see this in 2022 as when the US Fed started hiking rates, all the insiders started crushing the bonds. And they started pricing in things like really, really aggressive. You saw crypto get destroyed, right? It also, Roca Negra, you know who they are. They were buying in the FUD. They were part of the FUD. They were fake El Salvador news and all of this. So it's almost like they're all in one sort of big insiders club, okay? So that's when they want to stop everything. Now, here's the thing. You could think of our PulseChain Sacrifice wallet, which is Ethereum's and the world's #1 biggest DAI holder, that wallet. You can think of that as its own central bank that wants to send a signal to the market. But here's the interesting part. You learn this from Cripple, all right? So I call them Cripple because they don't blow their load instantly. They do this, I'm telling you, friends, they know what to do. Okay, what they do is, this is what the Fed did. They do a bit of QE, but they do just enough to get everyone in the news talking. And then, once that is out in the news, then they load their secret wallets, which is transparent bank accounts you can't see, and then the market gets pumped. So I'm not saying Richard's doing this. I'm not saying it, but I wouldn't be surprised. And by the way, that we saw on chain another wallet address, GodWhale, a separate wallet address. Yeah, that's right. Loads 2,500 Ethereum, but he's ready to sell Ethereum higher and most likely rotate into Pulse and PulseChain. So effectively, you can think of that as like a mini US Fed. And this is what actually works. So there's a reason why they do that. And that is because they get super leverage. Super. Because here's the thing. You see how $3.7 million that basically we made, friends. I know this is tongue in cheek, not to put anyone down, but it's just funny. Ivan on Tech, Ivan the Great, and Coin Bureau, they both wake up 10 months ago in the middle of the night to go wee, and USDC has depegged to 90 cents. And they go, you know what? Screw this industry. I'm out. And they sell USDC. Now, our PulseChain wallet, the duck who controls it, uses our DAI and buys up USDC off them. So they sell, Richard buys USDC and replenishes the peg. And I think it profits anywhere from $8 to $12 million off DAI. So part of that is now being used to deploy. Okay, so it's not theoretically the base of the sacrifice being used yet, but it's on its way. Now, when I talked about leverage, the interesting part is to get the biggest maximum effect of these types of moves is what you'd have to do is, and this is what's happening right now. He moves $3.7 million over. That's only like 0.5% of the wallet address, okay, size. It's nothing. But that 0.5%, It just starts buying, okay? Now everyone's noticed. And everyone's like, oh, the wallet, $3.7 million is left. Then you use your other real addresses, okay? Like you just saw this GodWhale address loaded. Then you use the real ones as like a bazooka. And this is actually, friends, what Ripple did. Ripple did this. You know how we found out? You go read the SEC case against them. There was an email, Brad Garlic Breath. He probably regrets this email. And no one really cares about it. XRP Army don't care about it. But in 2017, they did this XRP Swift rumors, which is funny. Chainlink has it now. Now, they did these fake XRP rumors, but on the announcements, okay, whenever Ripple would do announcements, Brad was messaging his market maker and telling them, hey, we're going to release this news. When it's released, use all your firepower and smack the living hell out of this up. Why do they do that? It's exactly what the US Fed does, and it's exactly what you would do. It's you deploy a bit of money and a bit of good news, and then you use the cavalry. And it sends a signal to the market, you should be thinking this way because it is bullish. It's fascinating how this works. Now, you might say this is, some people say manipulation or brainwashing, but here's the thing. The US Fed does it, and it's leverage. And what are you going to do? Fight it? Good luck. I'm saying good luck, right? Because the marketing message is this, right? Let's say, hopefully, let's say we rally 10x from here. Literally, let's say Richard Hart's ecosystem has done a 10x rally from here by the end of the year. What do you think I'll be saying in my videos? Oh, well, you'll be saying, everyone will be saying, the sacrifice address bought $3.7 million out of 600 million, 0.5%. And we did a 10x rally. Just imagine it deployed everything. We're going to go 1,000x. That's the type of things that they want. They want people to speculate positively. They want demand to come in like that. And don't think this is happening in Bitcoin, friends. This is happening in Bitcoin. This is happening everywhere. Okay, when they want to pump Bitcoin up, they do the exact same thing. Same as Ethereum. They just use different terminology. You understand that? It's just that we all kind of relate and it's transparent. And also Richard Hart is like, he's super smart himself. He doesn't need like 15 people around him. You kind of figure that out. So it's easy for us to read one dude, but all in the shadows behind Bitcoin and Coinbase and all the exchanges and Roca Negra, trust me, all these things happen because we know what happens with the US Fed. So there you go. I've got this whole picture of how this thing is forming. At the end of the day, do you really even need to know it? Not really, because I'll tell you right now, I got 4 messages from family friends today saying, wow, pump it, straight away.
So have I. No, and it's wild you say that because like it's amazing how, because this is my third cycle, how retail always does the same thing where they have no interest in the market when we're at the bottom. And then when we start seeing, life in this market, you start seeing individuals who seem to have disappeared or called you dumb or called you a moron. They start reappearing out of nowhere. And I must say, I will humbly say, I did not expect any of this surrounding, Richard Hart. I've been vehemently kind of aggressive, over the last 3 weeks, 3 weeks to a month or so, maybe even longer, because of what I've seen and kind of like, being emotional sometimes, if not many times. And, the news today was, I couldn't believe it. And I guess my question to you is seeing that Richard has 11 lawyers representing him, and these are massive names. To go over them all would take a 4 or 5 hour YouTube video. Are you surprised that Richard was prepared for this? Do you the representation he has is very impressive for what I've seen, and I'm curious to hear your perspective on this. This is a massive deal.
It's funny, so Mr. Beatballs. It's such a good question because this is what a lot of people, when they watch me, they will often get confused. They think, yeah, you're hot and then you're cold. Make up your mind. And I'm like, bro, do you even watch the videos? I have not made a single video saying to sell. Firstly, not financial advice. I'm just telling you, I'm just long. You know what I mean? I haven't made a single one. It's people's interpretations because the news is bad. It's also people, this is the thing. When things go down and it's bad and you have the corrupt SEC attacking and it's human intervention, right? When other people look at it, I know where you're coming from. You see red candles, but remember, I'm a trader, I'm an investor, I'm in the game. I know it is a game ultimately at the end of the day, which means there's a price too low and there's a price too high. So what I'm trying to do is help the most amount of people. So I'm trying to tell people, There's a price too high one day, by the way. There's a price too high. And a lot of people get upset, right? Same as Bitcoin camp. People say, how we're going to flip gold, 500K. I go, nah, I don't know. You know what I mean? I used to believe that. So it's the same thing, Richard Hart ecosystem. We might say talking points like, market cap doesn't matter and all these friends. And you got to see, I mean, you saw the leverage altcoins. You saw people buying up PDI stablecoin up 100x. No backing, no care. You know what I mean? So everyone's starting to wake up to these things. But at the end of the day, you look at these narratives, and that's why through my videos, my core message is always like, most of the people who you think are smart, they ain't actually that smart. They're just describing to you very, very clearly, very succinctly why the monthly candle is red. That's what they're doing. And then when it's green, they're describing why it's green. But when things are going up, we just see this is also from stock market world, right? They know when the markets go up and you're bullish, people think you sound naive and you're too like bubbly and you don't take anything seriously, right? That's what you come across as. People who are always bullish are naive. They're like, they're very like loose in terms of like, oh, you're not being professional. Right. There's a risk and stuff. And when things go down, the people who can explain it, they're seen as like the arbiters of truth, and they knew they could see the pieces of the puzzle at the end of the day. But we all know from the money printing and just humans being able to push on forward more and more, we eventually do win. It's just that our fear, man. I know we see the fear, friend. Trust me, I felt the same thing too. I'm making the cams. I'm like, man, fuck, why do we have to get this bad news? But that's right. I tried to just explain to everyone. I know it's a kick in the nuts if you look at it, but also it's a blessing. It's because the market's smarter than just one person. It's smarter than me and you. It priced in how Richard was kind of missing. We're a bit overvalued. There's too much inflation, the dilution. It priced it in before the corrupt SEC. So before it came down, we went down. And when I'm explaining everyone to this, I have the bullish view. I'm like, okay, that means we're cheap. But other people interpret it as bad because effectively what I'm saying is we ain't worth as much as we thought. That's just it. We didn't have an amazing product market fit. The world's biggest airdrop, the idea was to suck in all the liquidity, and it didn't happen. Now, when people hear that, they get deflated, and that's okay. But then what I'm saying is, I go, friends, even though it didn't happen, the price is too cheap. But it's funny because the candle's red, no one wants to listen to that part, which I completely understand. And then I also will add, like, as these stories evolve, you get to see, like, if we could price in that corrupt SEC beforehand, then I think the market and wisdom, the collective market pricing, will also see that the community is bigger than just Richard Hart, which he wants everybody to see. And trust me, I don't even really believe it, but that's why I tell everyone, man, there's 178 freaking projects here. Yes, you have things like Richard's Only Brother, which is just, friends, go to Richard's Only Brother, go to channel and go see the pinned message, okay? Literally, the pinned message is me. I joined and I said, okay, guys, I haven't bought it, by the way, friends. I just bought it a tiny bit. I'll just tell you, we have one goal, and that is when Richard streams again, we all have to ask him about a business name, and we have to use Richard's Only Brother. So we just got to get him to say it on stream, right? So this is the type of world we're dealing with, friends. There's cultures and subcultures being built in here. They're not in other ecosystems. They're just not, right? Go and look around. And the funny thing is, they could be there, but we don't see them. Are they in XRP? Are they in Cardano, Binance, Polkadot? Yeah, maybe they are around. Okay, they are around. But look at the YouTube presence, man. 68 streamers, 140 content creators, 178 projects, while a guy's supposedly in hiding. I see all these, and I'm like, guys, I was literally here in 2020. Okay, I made videos on this. Please, you got to watch my videos. Chico Crypto, bless his heart, fudded me out of Cardano. I was in Cardano, and I was going to add 10 to 20 more bullets. I was going to go super, super hard. I was watching his videos. He goes, because I'm listening to him. He's new, and he's like saying, I am 100% convinced Cardano is a vaporware. They'll never release smart contracts. Nothing's going to happen. And he had all these long-winded stuff. He showed wallets of Charles Hoskinson, who was staking and just dumping on exchanges. He put all the pieces of the puzzle together. It had no developers. It only had 11,000 daily active users. You put all this together. I'm like, whoa. And then, here's the thing, friends. He went and challenged Charles to a boxing match. And he said it's the biggest BitConnect Ponzi. And this is the craziest part. Chico Crypto correctly predicted DeFi in 2019. So here I am listening. I'm like, oh, he predicted DeFi. He predicted Chainlink. He was in Chainlink. He predicted Ethereum. So he must be right about this. And he was freaking wrong, man. Cardano did a freaking 150x without smart contracts. Cardano,
Yep.
you couldn't even launch projects on it. They had to launch it on Ethereum. So everything went out the window in a bull market. Okay. Now, so the stories and how they play out and the people that come in, okay, it's a wide world out there of people coming in. And we really are small. So when we see this Richard Hart component, I felt the exact same thing too. But now I'm sharing you because luckily I'm remembering this Cardano story. I'm like, hey, why didn't I go super hard in Cardano? I go, oh, that's right. He fudded me out of the freaking bag. We could be looking at the exact same thing. We have 13,000 daily active users in PulseChain right now. We have PulseX, a casino. We've got Teddy Bear, Atropa. We've got all these ecosystems. We've got Paul Pleb. We've got 9inch. All these things happening. Like, this makes no sense to me, right? How are we the same daily users as Cardano in 2020 when we have all these things going for us, right? That's to kind of tell you that, okay, there's no one using it today, but in the future, surely they will, you know? So there you go. That's how it all fits together.
No, and all I want to say is I absolutely agree. I mean, personally, for me, it's hard to believe when you see like one of the largest communities, in crypto, it wasn't reflective of the prices. And you're right about Cardano, as in I'm also, a big Cardano enthusiast myself. So, the bull market, everything, goes out the window, and only time will tell what really happens. But so far, I'm seeing really good things. We were talking about like Cardano and PulseChain users, and so far we're seeing very good things. We're seeing an uptick now in the bridge. We're seeing bridging over, and that's another thing where I was wrong at. Where even though there are only a few places where you can actually get PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex right now, it seems like when green candles come in, nobody gives a shit about that, and people just find a way to bridge in. As I'm also a Cardano enthusiast, I've interviewed Charles Hoskinson. I'm a huge PulseChain centric channel. You know, Comparing these two, do you see PulseChain as being, again, it's not financial advice, but do you think PulseChain, Hex, PulseX are all undervalued?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's no no secret, friends. I've only made 3,000 videos and posts. It is, look, many crypto projects are undervalued. Many are. It's just that a 3x ain't exciting me. Like, and when you want to look for value, for example, I like deep value, I like contrarian. Why? It's because people literally give you a diamond for a penny. All you got to do is win at the mental game, which is don't fudge yourself and don't fumble your own bags. So a lot of these things can be undervalued. Like many times there are people out there, and this is just their game. They might go to like through different Ethereum layer 2s and they'll compare the TVL, which is the value in the system. And they'll be like, hey, like this thing is undervalued. But when you find out how much they're undervalued, it's a 2x. You know what I mean? It's like this, but they write like it's undervalued by 111%. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you got to start quoting things in percent, it's near the end of your cycle, right? So we're here for something greater. Because in my mind, if you're going to try go for something that's undervalued by a 2 or a 3x or even a 4, you may as well do a leverage trade at that point. Like, you know what I mean? You may as well just toggle up the leverage here and there. But we're for something that can switch from hatred, don't hate that much, neutral, like, then like smile heaps about, and then like really love. That's what we're here for. And I really do see similarities between, say, Charles and Richard as a pivotal figure. I see the Cardano community as well, and they really look. I warn everybody as well. Just you don't want to anchor to the unicorn with everything, because what does everybody in crypto say? Oh, Amazon dropped minus 93% and then went up only. It's survivorship bias. What does everybody say? Oh, Bitcoin dropped minus 94% and then rallied 1,000,000x. Survivorship bias. What does everyone also say? Oh, Ethereum dropped minus 94%. Its fractal went up only. So what we're doing is we're describing the absolute unicorn winner. It's literally like you saying, well, Muhammad Ali, he was losing in this 4th round, he ended up winning. Like, you got to be really honest with yourself. But at the end of the day, all we can do is increase our probabilities of success. So that's what I try to do as a voice, to show everybody, hey, look at these things I'm seeing. And when I post on my videos, friends, I'm not here for a freaking 2x. Even when I'm playing around in lotteries, I don't want lotteries at 2 or 3x. That's a scum game, man. We want, so.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I am not here for a 2x either. I mean, yeah, I have, Cardano, which, my expectation for Cardano is not a 2x. It's a bit higher than a 2x. There is definitely something that I believe about, PulseChain Hex and PulseX, which is why I've been so aggressively passionate about it, because there was just something that wasn't adding up, how the prices could be going down, but the community is one of the largest communities in crypto. When I look at the largest communities in crypto, I say Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Doge, Sheeb, Cardano, Solana, and Hex and PulseChain. And that's not in any order by any means, but it didn't make any sense, which is why I was getting so angry, and I was lashing out. And it is what it is sometimes. And I want to ask you then, lastly, in your perspective, because you've been highlighting that there's going to be a scam top, that 100K probably won't happen, that the psychological barrier of 100K may not be able to be overturned, and that BlackRock is using this as not necessarily BlackRock, but just hedge funds in general that are getting involved in crypto may cause a shortened bull market. As that stands, if that happens, how do we as the Hex and PulseChain community prepare for that and understand that?
It's a fantastic question. I've got to remind everybody as well, because I was in your position too. I'm watching all these like influencers out there, and I'm like, you just want to be right whether it goes up or down. No, I'd say many times there's a famous stock market saying, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? And what that refers to is how you interpret it is you go, well, there are risk zones where the fundamental valuation gets somewhere and everything's partying around you. Everyone's partying naked, eating jelly beans, doing handstands, got glitter in the face. And all I'm just saying is, at these points, it's not 100% guarantee that everything continues smooth sailing. So you can assign a probability in your chance, right? Very easy way to do it is like 50-50. You just go, you know what? I don't know if everything keeps going up from here in a 12-month zone. Because friends, you can't see if everything's going up or down in a week. You go, I don't know if it's going to go up again in another 12 months, but maybe there's like a 25 or a 50% chance it doesn't. So I'm going to just protect myself. That's where it comes down to. But, the more I think about this 4-year cycle, and what I'm seeing is the indicators are so freaking clear. Like, friends, you saw Jim Cramer literally comes out. He's like, Bitcoin, man, you just can't kill it. Literally. So, how do you make this up?
It's wild to me.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So this happens, and I'm very confident. Okay, what I think is going to happen is everything else is going to fulfill itself. Altcoin prices, Ethereum prices, Ty Lopez launches a coin, Jim Cramer, all these exogenous factors, all these other influences with like classical, the top signals are in, these types of things. Peter Schiff maybe capitulates again, right? By the way, Uncle Peter Schiff watches my channel. He was one of the top signals in the 2021 bull market. He actually, go back, make his tweet. He made a tweet. Yep. Bitcoin hit 50K. He literally said word for word. No one paid attention. He said, now that Bitcoin has hit 50K, I will admit it is more likely to hit 100 than 0, but it's still going to 0. And guess what? That was the top. So we might see all of those happen, but we might look at Bitcoin and go, wait a minute. I'm seeing euphoria in altcoins. I'm seeing PulseChain go through the moon. I'm seeing many altcoins go to the moon. I'm seeing JPEGs, new things of going out, and you're seeing things get tired. What does that mean? It means where we might even see within the PulseChain ecosystem where someone starts off with good ideas. For example, maybe someone makes a staked PulseChain. Maybe Alex's icosahedron rebirth stuff. Maybe we start off with cool stuff. And then when we go forward 6 months, they kind of get a bit copy pasty. And then maybe you go another 6 months forward and it's just full on, just like, dude, we are just gambling for the sake of gambling. This is how every cycle actually ended. It was people going,
yes,
oh my gosh, I missed everything. Just get me in. Just get me any low market cap, whatever. So, but what we might find is something might be missing a bit in terms of, we might look at this and go, wait a minute, I'm seeing the top signs, but we're running too early. Or I'm seeing the top signs, but Bitcoin's only like $75,000. You know what I mean? So everything else might match up and add up. And you're looking at it and you're scratching your head. You're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Now, I'm going to warn everybody as well. There is a cycle where the right thing to do was to sell everything in the Bitcoin, and then it went another 500%. And that was 2017.
Yes.
And we're not going to get that, friends. That is the hopium-copium fractal. That was crossing the chasm. That's the technology adoption. That was John McAfee, Tim Draper. There was everybody coming out to the government saying, this is actually a better money. That was Ethereum being birthed. That was actually the biggest burst of crypto adoption in terms of the ratio that we'll ever see in our lives. That was, Ethereum literally did freaking 4,500x from an ICO. Like, so, but that's probably the cycle everyone is going to be copy pasting and talking to us about. Going, yes. Don't worry, remember in 2017, Bitcoin only rallied half the year in 2017. And then it continued in the year. And then that's probably going to be, that's what I feel like will be the trap. But don't forget, remember, early in the interview, we just spoke about the Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle, FTX, Mt. Gox. We had a double bottom. We've now just grinded up to exactly where we are. It seems to be just things are like ticking along. So, you know, these are the clues you kind of look for, because if you rely on indicators, it's all 50-50. But remember, at the end, remember, the most important thing, friends, you still don't know. Do you want to be right or do you want to make money? Because I could put all these pieces of the puzzle together, and if it works out, I'll look like a genius, but I don't really care. I just want you guys to say to yourselves, well, luckily, I didn't believe in Adam Back, for example, literally rumored to be Satoshi type of Bitcoin OG dude. Luckily, yes. I didn't believe his post where he says he's confident Bitcoin will flip gold to $700,000 within the next 18 months. You know what I mean? So I just want you to go back and look at that, because, friends, I've got still pictures and messages of myself. I'm like, man, they had infinite QE. They had 0% rates. $16 trillion in the world was committed to buying negative yielding bonds. And Elon Musk, the world's richest man and most popular man, literally shielded Bitcoin and bought Bitcoin on the Tesla balance sheet. We still couldn't hit 100K. We still diminished. Like, that scares me. I'm thinking, okay, we literally had the most perfect of perfect scenarios. Tick, 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 tick. We still diminished. So that's what I'm just telling everyone to be concerned about. But it doesn't mean maybe ultimately that PulseChain doesn't go as high as we think or whatever. It just means, like, if there are areas that we arrive to, prices so high that look high from now, but when you get there, they're going to feel normal, and you've changed your life a bit, please, for the love of God, don't look at me and go, look at that guy. He's got red thumbnails. He's saying to, like, start taking profit. Don't look at that, because I'm telling you,
I agree.
Everyone who did that in 2021, half of them aren't around. Literally, some people, friends, they literally people ended their own lives from Luna.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the extreme part of what happened. So this unfortunately, markets are not reliable when it comes to these. And they are reliable when you have diamond hands like me, diamond hands like Spaghetti Meatball, Corey making interviews, and me making content. But when the weak hands come in with you, you can't rely on them at all. They'll sell red candles, they don't care. So that's ultimately where this leads, and you just got to have that balanced approach. But right now, friends, you know, the balance is in our court. It is to go super long, turbo long diamond hands. The balance is in our court. We're just telling you, like, at some point, though, it does end.
Yes, and I absolutely agree with you. I would just want to say one last thing before we end, is that I can relate to everything with this. In 2017, I got in early. I got into Bitcoins, which turned into Ethos, which turned into Voyager. I saw it go. I bought it 50 cents. It went up to $10. I didn't sell. I got into Substratum at like 10 cents or 20 cents when I remember. It went up to $3. I didn't sell. I went into QuantStamp, made a 6x, didn't sell. I literally I was distraught in 2018, 2019, and 2020. And then I started really building it back up, and I sold the coin that I was in 2021. If you guys probably know, it was ICX, Icon, OG coin, that I was actually working with. I was not working with the company, but like necessarily, but like I was an ambassador, like a community ambassador per se. And, I sold, and then at the tail end of the bull market, like you highlighted, so many people, including myself, were looking into shit. And I was literally going into meme coin after meme coin, trying to get money from these meme coins before the bull market was inevitably ending. So I agree with you, Sommi.
So I want to add something. I want to finish off something very, very quickly. Got to let you guys know. So Corey's story, everyone relates to it. But I've got to tell you something, guys. Like,
what up?
I've got a close friend, for example. We're sitting through the bear market. He tries so many meme coins, and they just keep coming back. So many coins. They go up 2, 3, 4, 5x. They come back. He's trying to look for the winner. He can't find one. And then he buys a meme coin. It goes up like 5x, and he gets out. That meme coin ended up being Grok, the freaking Elon Musk meme factory AI piece of poop coin. If he held on, he would have made 150x. It literally went, I couldn't believe it. A freaking meme factory off Elon Musk's word went 150x. He can't sleep at night. He literally can't sleep at night. He goes, I can't believe because it wore him out. So this is the thing. Like, I've just seen it time and time again. If you hold everything, then they all keep going up at 2x, 3x. If you hold nothing, you eventually come across this winner. That's why we do have this approach of like, okay, maybe we don't get 1000x, man. But let me tell you something, friends. The most important thing you can have in this game is conviction. And in our ecosystem, we know Metcalfe's law. We can see the daily users. You know, there's Mr. Coffee. Every time if limit orders come to PulseX, you know, Mr. Crypto Coffee is going to be making a video in 2 seconds saying how to do it. Like, this increases your probability that if you come across savings, if you've taken profit somewhere, if you just want to add in extra fiat, and there's a big market crash or whatever, you can add it into an ecosystem knowing that it's supported by people. And trust me, as the crypto cycle goes along, friends, and you're going to see a lot of things just never rally ever again. You're really going to appreciate the fact that you have an army of people, and literally rabid dog army cult, who is like, nah, went 99%, don't care. Don't care. Richard Hart disappeared, don't care. Richard Hart called the fraudster, don't care. Like, you can't get that anyway, man. You literally can't get that anyway, friends. There's dead bodies everywhere of all these other coins, like Litecoin, for example. Litecoin had to beg PayPal to just be accepted. Like, is that where you want to end up? You know, so that's how it ends if that was the alternative, where everybody wants to wear a suit and tie and be nice. So I think we're on the right path. We're just, you know, the cycle's ticking along. Here we go.
Yes, sir. Sommi, I am honored. I'm very, humbled that you chose me for your first interview. I can't thank you enough. I'm looking forward to future, collaborations. Thank you for all that you do. You put out like 80,000 videos a day, and God bless you for all you do, man. And thank you, Sommi.
Don't forget, friends, like, subscribe to Corey. I love all these interviews. I watch a lot of his interviews. There's a lot of people talk about philosophy and history, a lot of these other things as well. And also, if you want to find me at your friend Sommi, on YouTube and Twitter, you'll be seeing more of me. Don't forget, friends, the bull market is just getting started. Catch you soon.